to that is, where is Childish Gambino?
When we first started coming out, he was going to direct a video for me. And I think he said something about, he's like, I think Childish Gambino is like the story of a boy turning into a boss. And that always kind of stuck with me, where it's like, but also I feel like it was always just me trying to like still have fun, like, you know, like not be an adult, you know. So Childish Gambino, he worked on this last project, and then then I think he just walked into the ocean and just never.
So when you say last project, just to be clear, what are we speaking about?
There's a project, you know, the project I put out, the 31520.
Yeah, love.
That no one's ever heard of. That's like, you know, like kind of like people didn't even know I put it out. It was originally titled At a Vista. It was supposed to be At a Vista. And, but we put it out kind of like quickly. I didn't master and mix it. I just kind of put it out just because, you know, I was going through a lot, and like, you know, niggas thought everybody was going to die because it was, you know, the pandemic. So, we put it out, but we finished it. It's At a Vista. We're putting that out. But then after that, there's a Childish Gambino album, like the final Childish Gambino.
Okay, pause for a second.
Okay. I just dropped a big album, but we finished it. It's At a Vista. We're putting that out. But then after that, there's a Childish Gambino album, like the final Childish Gambino album.
Okay, pause for a second.
Yeah.
Let's
okay. I just dropped a big
steps.
Yeah, we'll do it in steps.
Number one, I genuinely did love that 31520 album, even though you know, I just was completely confused on how to say I loved it. Because it was just numbers.
There's no context.
Yeah, but there was a song, and it felt really folky. Absolutely love that song. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Lil Foot, Big Foot. There's a video for that.
There's a video.
Yeah, it's great.
And when is that?
I think it's in the next couple weeks. Like, Hero directed it.
Wow.
You know, like, you know, it's. I love the video. It just looks great and it feels good. But I was always like that. That song is our Hey Ya a little bit. It's like a really sad song.
Kids love that song.
Kids, but it's kids love that song. My son loves that song. But yeah, it's like, you know, that song. There's not a lot. It's not easy to put that album into context, and I feel like I kind of learned that because I was like, originally it's just hard with streaming, because if it was just an album, you just kind of there's certain boundaries, but it's streaming,
right.
So even the time code thing, it's like, you know, that's not how people listen to music anymore. It works. I feel like that album works better as a vinyl, and the special vinyl we have coming out for this, I think, makes it all make sense.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
And there was something else you said about a new project.
Yeah.
What are you fucking talking about?
You sound like every fan on Reddit, like right now. It's just like, what the hell? You know,
we've been asking for it so long.
You have. I mean, like, well, this project is for you guys. Honestly, this project is. I swear, like, this project. You know, I just wanted to say thanks, because I feel like my fans have been so patient, and I feel like they've been starving, and they're great fans. They're like some of my favorite people. And that's hard. Some people get fans and they don't like them, right. You know, and I feel like my fans, I really love them. And this project is for them. And it's like, you know, I started working on this film called Bando Stone in the New World. And I always loved soundtracks. Like, you know, I love the Batman soundtrack that Prince did. I love the Batman Forever soundtrack. You know, soundtracks were a big thing in the 90s. And this last Childish Gambino album is a soundtrack to this film. So, and it's for, you know, my fans.
That sounds exciting.
It's great. I love it. I think it sounds great.
Is this a Childish Gambino project, though, just to reiterate?
This is, like it's an original soundtrack done by Childish Gambino.
That's amazing. I cannot wait for this. This is
nice. It's really cool.
So, I just wanted to sidestep. I had this, you know, as the salacious shit.
Yeah.
And not because I'm forced to, it's because I want to.
Okay. I'm here for it.
You've seen what has happened recently, the Big Three debate, state of music in general. I'm always curious about what you think about some of these things, because it seems like you come from a place of purity, but it still ends up divisive.
Yeah.
And I'm curious just what you think about where music is now, amid also specifically sort of like your thoughts on Cole and Kendrick and Drake and everything that's happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like, we're all growing up. It's just not, music is, it's so ubiquitous. I don't think people give enough credit to the fact that it's like when I was a kid, it was pretty hard to hear music whenever you wanted. Like, and the radio was dictated by gatekeepers. Like, people were telling you what to listen to, even when you did. But there were no iPods. There were no, like, maybe you had a Discman, maybe you had a tape player. I remember I had a tape player. But so music in general is like, I forgot who was saying that, but like the artist but it's like, yeah, it's like it's like everything else. It's like it's worthless unless you put value on it. The streams don't make it value. It's so crazy that we have all music of all time at our fingertips. So it makes things less valuable in a sense unless we add value to them. And I feel like we're kind of seeing that with the Kendrick and Drake thing, like the Kendrick, Drake, J. Cole thing, where it's like, yeah, like we're all, man, we all got kids, man. Like we're all growing up, and this like wrestler idea of like this person stands for this and this person is like, man, nah, we're all people, like a little bit, and like we're not that part of. I think I saw like somebody be like, man, therapy ruined hip hop, like kind of thing. I'm like, man, do you got like, I'm a little bit, not even a little bit. I honestly feel this way. I sort of feel like, man, fuck the culture. Man, the culture has niggas afraid to wear sandals. It's like,
Is this true?
I'm like, what are we doing?
It was a socks and sandals era for sure.
Yeah, and I'm like, what are we doing? You're afraid to show your toes? Everyone has them. Like, why are we beholden to this thing that's like kind of wants us to fight? Vince Staples had already kind of said that a little bit, and he's right. Like, it's like, you guys, like we've reached it. We've reached the zenith. Like, what do we want from this actually? And if the only thing you want is wrestling, it's like, yeah, like, because it's not about the beef. Like, there's real beef. Niggas die every day in Chicago over real beef. Like, niggas die every day in Atlanta over real beef. It's not about the beef. What is it about this genre where you're like, I need this to be about the bars and like, it's like, well, what about the expression, And like, yeah, like, I just feel like we're growing up. Like, this is a natural part of it.
Do you feel like you have a space in all of this? And if you don't, then what is your space? Like, what do you represent within all of this?
I'm the Willy Wonka of this shit, man. Like, I'm the Willy Wonka of this shit. Like, I'm not, I feel like I have a space when I talk to Tyler. He's always like, man, it's us, man. Like, it's us, kind of.
And great performance, by the way, yesterday. That was incredible.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Like, I think, no, but I mean, like, I love what Tyler's doing. I love what he stands for. And there is something, like, we all have imposter syndrome on some level, but I do believe it when he tells me, he's like, man, I get excited by what you're doing. Like, and I feel like I'm not in that circle. Like, I feel like I'm the court jester on the outside. Like, I'm like, cause I just want to have fun. I feel like in a weird way, I'm kind of, because I grew up with like those videos from like Busta Rhymes and Missy and Ludacris, and like people were having fun, and in a weird way, like I always liked that stuff, but I was like, no, but this fun should be serious.